Welcome to another edition of 2 on 2. I have the pleasure of interviewing Coach Bree. She is the coach of the women's basketball team here at Dunbar. And she did something incredible. Her first year in, and she won 16-0, and she won a championship. So stay tuned as I interview Coach Bree. You want to go to that next level, huh? It ain't easy.
Nope.
But you gotta fast a little bit. Let's talk about it.
Thank God.
Welcome back to another episode of 2 on 2. This is a good one. I'm here at Dunbar, here in Northwest DC, my hometown. I was born and raised in DC. And we have the lovely Coach Bree.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I've been following your success, right? So first, before we even talk about your success, because I think that's something that has really changed the dynamic of basketball, the way you coach, right? But let's go back. What made you really get into basketball?
My whole journey with basketball was by accident. I was a really great soccer player.
Okay.
Had issues with my growth plate
Okay.
and my ankles.
Okay.
So kind of had to cut that short. Got really into softball, was a really good softball player. I just happened to have a growth spurt a little bit in like 5th grade.
Okay.
And I was tall. And that's literally how it happened. My PE teacher was like, you should play basketball. And didn't know anything about it.
Nothing about it. Never picked up a basketball.
No, and they were like, go get the ball. And I guess my defense was just crazy because I did just that.
Right.
But once I got the ball, I didn't know what
Oh,
to
so
do.
you ain't let nobody get in to do the layups? And
Yeah,
nothing?
no. They was like, steal the ball, I stole it. And
Okay.
then afterwards, I was like,
Now what?
Yeah, so it was literally by accident.
Okay.
And even getting into coaching was
By
by
accident.
accident.
So what made you fall in love with basketball?
I guess I started to become very passionate about it because I'm kind of the person that really likes to see other people happy based off of like things that we're doing to be successful.
Okay.
So when I could steal the ball and give it to my teammate and score and they were happy, it was like, oh, I did a good job.
Right,
or, you know,
right,
like,
right,
oh, I'm
right.
doing something and it's helping us win.
Right,
you know?
right. Well, they say defense help.
Yeah.
Defense is the thing that wins games, right?
Yeah, so I just have always had that mindset where I always want to see people win or help them win. I
Okay.
don't really need the accolades. I don't need you to be like, oh, Bree, help me with it. No.
Right. It's a team effort.
Yeah, it's like the fact that we're winning,
Right.
I get joy from that because
Gotcha.
I know that I was a part of that success. Like I did my job well enough to
Right.
get us to that point. So.
Gotcha. So take us through, take us through like the teenage years of now you perfecting basketball. Like what was that moment where you hit, where you was like, wait a minute, now this might be my thing. Like I really like basketball. I really love basketball. Like what was that moment?
I got a letter from Georgetown. And my favorite player went to Georgetown, Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Right. Right.
Allen Iverson went here.
Right.
Then that summer I went to the camp
Okay.
and there was a player there, I can't remember her name. And she was doing this dribbling drill. And she was like, you can do it.
Right.
And I was looking at her like, girl. But then I started doing it. And then I started progressing, and the camp was fun. And then I started going to more camps. Like I went to the John Chaney Hill camp they had in Temple. It was outside, they had outside camp. And yeah, it was kind of like, you all right?
Right. Hold on.
You okay a little bit. And I got MVP at the camp.
Okay.
And then I got hot shot at the camp.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a very raw, unconscious thing.
Okay.
Like, it's not like I went into it like, oh, I'm gonna win MVP.
Right.
The fact that it happened naturally and I was just enjoying myself made me really enjoy the game of basketball. I never looked at it like a political thing. I just really always had fun playing it. And every time I elevated a certain aspect of my game, it started to become something I was passionate about.
You said a key word, and you enjoyed it. You know, a lot of people are forced, like, especially in DC, AAU, it's real heavy on the kids. Like they force their kids to play. And some kids don't like playing basketball. They really want to do another sport. But then you just said you enjoy doing it, right?
Yeah, it wasn't forced on me.
Okay.
I naturally
Just
gravitated.
Right.
So I went to the Boys and Girls Club to be a cheerleader and came out a soccer player. That's how that went. So yeah, I just naturally, it was never forced on me.
gotcha.
Just like coaching, it happened by accident. It wasn't forced on me. So I guess that's saying, like, when you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Right.
I never felt like that playing basketball, and I don't feel like that coaching either.
So let's get into coaching. What made you come here to coach?
It was a couple things. I saw the relationships that I built in college.
Okay.
And I had a couple conversations with players that was like, I wish I had like met a coach like you in high school. And I was just thinking about all the mentors that helped me in high school that to this day I look up to, and like, yeah, I kind of want to be like you.
Right.
So it was a couple things. I was born here in DC at a women's hospital that no longer exists.
Right. Yeah.
I was back home. They brought me back home. And I just felt like, let me be, you know, a mentor like the mentor I had. You know, let me help these young girls see that I'm a reachable goal. Like, I came from DC too.
Right.
I was born here. I grew up in the area, DMV area, PG County. And my journey may have been kind of long, but it's been a successful journey.
Right.
So your goals can be reachable too if you just have the right person leading you. So that was the main reason. And then I have coached at every level except high school.
Okay.
And I've done every position except, well, I coached head coach for a semi-pro team, but I figured that if I could come here and change lives, get these young girls in avenues that they've probably never seen themselves, and get them to love the game of basketball, that when it's time for me to move forward back to where I want to be, it should be an easy ride.
So first year ever coaching high school.
Yes.
What was some of the challenges when you first got here that was like, whoa?
Dealing with all the things that had nothing to do with basketball. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize as a head coach. And I understand now why there are positions like the forever assistant, where you see these coaches for 20 years have always been an assistant.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not speaking for them, but I can understand, like, this year alone, I had to be okay with things that I just wasn't okay with, because politically and as a head coach, this is what, you know, we have to do to keep the ball rolling. This is what I have to do to keep my kids ineligible. This is what I have to do to make sure people are happy.
Yeah.
I just had to really be flexible. And a lot of things, to the world, we were successful, but it was a lot of things that no one is ever going to see and know about that I had to deal with, which was like, oh, wow, okay. Like, we really be dealing with some stuff. Like, so, I mean, my first couple of months, I was just like, but I knew that I was brought here for a reason, and that I was going to be able to accomplish what I needed to. I'm a problem solver, so it's like, just figure it out.
So what was the record before you got here?
They were successful.
were?
They're 4-time city champs, so we
Okay.
just this year became five-time city champs.
Okay. Was
So
they
were successful.
always 16-0?
They were 16-0 the year prior to that year.
Okay.
So the last year, I think they lost 1, maybe 2.
Okay.
But then the year before, they were 16-0.
Okay.
Yeah. So just continued the tradition, polished some things up, taught them a different style of basketball, which is, I'm coming from college, so that's all I know.
Right.
So I was just trying to teach them college, the flow of college, so that when they go to college,
They're going to already be.
they're already fluent. They know the
Yeah,
language, they
yeah.
know the speed, they know the tempo, they know the
Wow.
environment, they know the workout schedule. You know,
Right.
so it's not like they get defeated as soon as they walk in the door. It's like, oh, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
You know, I've been here before.
Yeah. Coach Reed gave us this the game, yeah.
Yeah, oh, that ain't nothing. We used to have to run, what's the name? You know, so just really,
Right.
I mean, because that's all I know. High school, I've never coached high school. I've only coached college. So
Right.
I wasn't going to bring what I know down. I was
Right.
going to help elevate them
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So as a coach, I know you wear a lot of different hats. Right?
Yeah.
I can see your face when I said it, right? So when the kids come in, because I own a business and I don't have that many employees, right? You have a lot of students. How many girls on your team?
So I started out with 13, but I ended the season with 7.
So even then, with 7, that's 7 different attitudes. 7 different ways of you having to figure out how to motivate people, right? Motivate them, because they may come in and had a bad night or a bad day, and you still got to get the best out of them. So, what is that tactic like? What do you see when you're doing that?
Well, when I first met the girls, I'm very honest, straightforward. I didn't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
I let them know, like, this is who I am.
Right.
And I did that so they could meet me halfway.
Okay.
Because I'm not asking you to change either. Like, I'm new. And this is new for you.
Right.
It would be selfish of me to ask you to just completely convert to who I am.
Right.
Like, I need to learn you too, and you need to learn me. And if clearly we were successful, the buy-in started to happen. I think the girls, they walk around like, oh, I can't stand Coach Bree, but I know they love me. Because if I'm not here, like, where you been? I ain't seen you all day.
Right.
Coach Bree, you can't say hi to me. I'm like, hey, you know, how you doing? So I think just trying to meet them halfway was my biggest attribute to our success, because I mean, dealing with young girls, and I try to explain, I'm a girl too. Sometimes I wake up on Tuesday and have an attitude just because it's Tuesday.
Right.
No one did anything.
Nothing.
No one said a word to me. I just woke up and that's how I was feeling, and I'm rocking out with that for the rest of Tuesday. So I get that. And I get that sometimes we just need a day.
Yeah.
I'm not getting 100% out of you. So go home, relax, do what you gotta do.
Right.
So when
To
you come back
in.
tomorrow,
Right.
I have 100%, because you're not getting better and you're not receiving what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So if I ask you to leave, you know where I'm at. Just handle your business. Come back tomorrow, brand new person.
Right.
And for the most part, it works.
I mean, it must. I mean, you 16-0. You know, that don't come just lightly. I know there was a lot of challenges.
It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Because I came into a winning program, so
Right.
I had to uphold that.
Right, because if it went down, they were like, oh,
Yeah, it's you. Right. Because that's exactly what it's you.
Right.
You're the only new thing, you know.
Right,
So
right.
it was a lot of pressure to make sure that, you know, I kept the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Because just watching film and seeing teams, there were teams this year that had a way better team than the team last year. I mean, if we didn't really stand on who we were and our culture and what we were trying to do, some of them games got a little spicy. Okay, I was like, they're gonna kick our tail. Y'all playing too much,
Right.
like, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it was quite a journey, and it was a little stressful because I wanted to make sure that with bringing in a new culture, with making some of the political moves that I made,
Yeah.
that we were still successful.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, that's your name at the end of the day. It's Coach Bree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, stay tuned. We're gonna walk past some of these trophies, ask a couple more questions, and then you like to say you like to be outside.
I like to be outside.
All right, so we're gonna go outside. Stay tuned. So, how important was it to get that trophy? Like, I know they got plenty of trophies here, but none was contributed by you. So how important was it to get that trophy?
If I can answer it the right way.
Politically, right?
Politically.
Okay.
It was really the solidification of the fact that I came in here and made all these changes, but they were good changes, and we were still successful. So things that probably got you a championship before, and I removed them, it got you another championship. Or things that weren't conducive to the culture I was trying to build, and I had to move it out. Despite how you felt about it, I was still successful. So it was really icing on the cake to solidify that, yeah, I'm coming in here loud.
I done switched some things
I mean,
up.
they were calling me Coach Carter.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's big shoes to fill.
Right.
But with all of that, I was successful. So winning the conference was a must.
Right.
Going down there, and then I did a podcast where someone was like, oh, you guys are only gonna win by like 7. Yeah, we won by like 20 or something.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, 7 that.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
we won.
Multiply that times 3. Right.
Without being, too overbearing, but still like, I stood on business. I handled my business.
Right. Not cocky, but I'm confident.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you was making these changes, you was receiving a lot of kickback? Or?
Yeah, what's that saying? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. That's exactly what my life was. Nothing that I kind of did, I felt in my heart was like, oh, am I doing the right job? So then I just came to like a pinnacle where I was like, look, I'm in a new space. I've never been here before. How can I show that I support my school and how they feel about what's going on? But how can I show my kids that I support them too?
Right.
Like, how can I have both of you back? How can I have both of your backs at the same time? Like, because I'm coming to a point where I'm trying to juggle and I don't need to. Just how can I support both of you at the same time? So I kind of came to that crossroad a little bit later in the season, but I started getting feedback from both parties, which was kind of taking off the tension a little bit for me. Just, I know you can't be perfect, but it was just like, now I'm responsible for the success of these young girls.
Right.
So I had to make sure that we still are moving in a successful way, and I'm making all these changes, and I'm putting them in front of audiences, and we're going to tournaments that they only see in AAU. But now they're seeing it in high school.
Right. And then you think that was because of where you come from, like the light, like you said, they was calling you Coach Carter, so the light was basically on you, which put it on the team, or what you think?
I think it was just more so, like, I came in like, this is how I want to have the program, and the school really supported me in that. So they were holding me to a standard too, like, if this is what you're going to implement, then let's implement it.
Okay.
So it was like an all around.
So I gotta ask you this, because earlier in the interview you was explaining some things, and now you explain even more pressure, right? So how did Coach Bree, how did you maintain your peace? Like, what are some things that, when you get in your car and you're off campus, right? What is some things that keep you grounded to be able to deal with all of the pressure, right? Let's just really think about all of this pressure. You have the higher ups, you have the school, you have the kids, you have the parents.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All of these things is on your shoulder. So how are you staying grounded?
As I've gotten older, I've learned how to cut things off when they need to be cut off. I don't bring work home.
Okay.
And I've learned to do that because at the college level, people have their vices. I'm someone I've not yet found my vice. So because I don't have one, I've had to like just cut it off because I don't want to start habits that are for temporary things. Because sometimes habits become long-term.
Yeah, yeah.
But the situation's temporary.
Yeah.
So now I'm stuck with a habit that I created for something that only lasted 2 years.
Come on.
So I cut it off. And I always say, like, I drink a cup of let me mind my business in the morning, and I take a shot of I don't give a crap at night,
Right.
and that's how I keep it moving.
Okay.
Because if it's not killing me, and my bills are paid, and my daughter's healthy, and I'm healthy, my friends and family are good,
Right.
then I'm not bothered with it. So, and I kind of have that mentality about everything. My dad kind of helped me with that.
Okay.
It's a situation that happened with him, and it put so much in perspective for me that from that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be like that too. So.
Man, so I think we're gonna take a nice walk. We're gonna get to see the actual trophies.
Yeah.
It's 2 of them, right?
2. So I didn't even know this at the time until the championship that I won the conference championship too. So I won 2 championships my first year as a high school head coach.
How did that feel?
It was really like, I was surprised because I had no idea about the one. So I'm looking at AD like, we won that one too? I said, what's that one? He was like, the conference championship. I'm like, oh shoot, we won that too? He was like, yeah, you went 16-0. I was like, oh,
Right.
okay.
You just had your head down. You were just grinding.
Yeah, I was like, it's not over. I mean, even after championships, we didn't celebrate because I knew we had to go to states.
Right.
I was like, the job's not done.
Right.
Like, we'll celebrate when the clock is over, the clock is over. We'll celebrate when everything's over.
Right.
So, yeah.
So stay tuned. We're gonna look at these trophies, and then we're gonna come back with a couple more questions with Coach Bree. And so now we're in front of the trophies, 2 of them, right? So this is the regular season.
That's the regular season, and this is the championship.
This looking like NBA, NCAA trophy.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
When I picked it up, I was like, oh,
it got some weight to it.
Yeah, I was like, all right, okay.
So how did it feel? I mean, this was an achievement, right? But how did it feel to actually win this one?
I don't think it really hit me until like later when I was quiet.
Right.
I was like, oh shoot, you won.
You won, like I did this, right?
Yeah, and I was just thinking about like my journey to get there. A lot of my journey I endured because of my decisions.
Right.
But it was just like, okay, I kind of spoke this into existence. And not knowing all that I went through was preparing me for that because I didn't, even though I had a lot of pressure, I didn't sweat. And I say that respectfully.
Right.
I was under the pressure and I could feel it, but I never broke a sweat because it was just like everything leading up to that moment I had already seen or experienced or went through and had overcome. So it was just like, for me, it was just like, that was my pat on the back, like, okay, you're doing a good job. And you kind of, it was your vision.
Yeah.
No one planted it.
Right.
No one was like, oh, I think you should do it. It was all your choices that led you here.
So. If you don't mind me asking, did you shed a tear? Maybe not.
No.
No tear.
Nope, I just held my hand up like, yeah, we did that. Yeah, but like I said, I knew the job wasn't done. So I was, my mind was still like, okay, we did this.
Right.
Now we have states. Okay. And the biggest hurdle for women's basketball is getting past first round of states. And this was my first year experience how intense it is, which I think I can be better prepared for next year.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna go past the first level and
switch some things
business.
up.
Yeah.
Why is it so challenging for the first round, you think?
So that's where they play private schools. And competition kind of elevates. And I tried to prepare as much as possible with our non-conference. We had one of the best non-conference in our league. We played all private school, independent schools. We played schools in the WCAC.
Okay.
We went to the Boo Williams tournament. We went to the She Got Game. So I really tried to put us in an environment where it wouldn't be surprising, but I don't think my girls were afraid. I think other things got us sick. And like I said, dealing with some of the things that we have to deal with that have nothing to do with basketball.
The politics.
Not even politics, just more so, life is life for some of these girls. So just dealing with that. The fact that they showed up was such a blessing.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, it was warranted, and you wouldn't have to question it.
So with me being into like motivational speaking, and I kind of get a lot of like some of the kids, teenagers, whatever, even grown men, they gravitate to me, and I'm able to bring out some of the things that they holding back that they don't tell other people, right? What are some of the challenges? Because I know the women that are playing for you on your team, right? Once they leave here, like this may be their safe haven. They come here, they can escape reality from their environments, right? Some of them have good environments, some of them don't. How did it feel to be able to bring that type of safe haven to some of them when they come here? Because I know some teammates, you have a different type of relationship with them, right? So as a person with a big heart, and I can see you do, we kind of like, man, I wish things could be different for them, right? What are some ways or some things that you might have said to them to give them the motivation to not be a victim of their environment?
Well, I put in perspective that I'm a mother, and I'm a sister, and I'm a daughter. So I've kind of experienced what all those elements kind of look like. So I just try to meet them halfway, like as the sister or as the daughter or as a woman that has a daughter, and like how would my daughter feel if she was dealing with that? Like what would I tell my daughter if she's dealing with that? And I think that kind of helped me navigate a little bit and created that safe space, because then I started noticing that it went from like this to, because Bree, I did my working class and I went home like you said, or okay, it was just, okay, like the responses were different.
Yeah.
The intention behind the responses were different.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they were willing to hear me, whether they were gonna do it or not.
Right.
I was like, okay, because I would take a kid that smacks their lips and gives me attitude, but takes what I say and tries to apply it, versus a kid that says okay and then doesn't do it. So, because those are two different, okay, and then they don't do it at all.
Right.
Versus a kid that's like,
right.
And then I see him in 2 days, he's like, okay, I did what you said and I got an A. So you really broke down those barriers, those walls that some probably other teachers or even their parents couldn't break down. Yeah, I want to say one of the most rewarding things that it had nothing to do with coaching. There's a young lady here who has been through different schools. And to hear that Coach Bree, ever since you let her be a part of your program, she's been hanging out with you, she's been a different person. That was more rewarding than, because it was just like, okay, that was natural. I didn't mean for it. It's just so, I guess to kind of get those responses is what makes it worth it.
No, I mean, and as a child of God and things like that, as long as we put our good energy into the universe, we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to be, holier than thou, right? But as long as we put out good energy and we show people like we got a good heart, and again, being transparent. I think by you saying, listen, I got a daughter, I can relate. And they see that, they're like, well, she can relate. She's been through some of the things I've gone through.
Yeah.
So I think that's dope. So now we're gonna go to your favorite part. Outside.
Yeah.
All right, so stay tuned. We're gonna go outside, and Coach Bree is gonna explain to us some of the drills and the things that you have them do during practice. That's a big field out there. All right, well, stay tuned. So now we are outside.
We outside.
We outside. And we out here on the field. We got the football team practicing behind us, right? But this is where you bring the basketball team out here?
Yeah, we were out here, sun, rain, cold. Yeah, we were getting it in, 6 o'clock in the morning. We were here at 6 a.m. Because when I was in college, we had 6 a.m. workouts, then we had practice.
Sheesh.
So we were out here at 6 a.m. We would have, and each day was a different day. So we'd be on the bleachers.
Running up the bleachers.
Or we would do a suicide per yard.
Per yard?
Yeah, so they had to touch each one and go back like a suicide and run it. Then we did sprints where they were timed. They had like 30 seconds to do a certain sprint. They had to run their miles old school style. Loving basketball, run your mile.
Run around this whole track.
Then they did core workout out here. We spent a lot of time outside. And 6 a.m.s for me was just to prove a point.
Okay.
That, okay, you gave me all this attitude. Oh, why we gotta do that? I said, but the fact is you showed up. So you did the hardest part.
Right.
So since you already showed up and you did the hardest part, just get better today. Just get better. Because you're here.
Right.
So you can smack your lips all you want to, but you showed up.
You showed up. Because to be here at 6, that means you had to get up at 4:35.
Yeah, and I was picking some kids up in the morning and bringing them here. Yeah.
Do they know that? Do they know that the dedication that you put in?
No.
I didn't think they knew that.
I was picking some of the girls up in the morning so they could be here.
So they can be here on time.
Get their work done. Yeah.
So they don't know that side of you. They don't know that you was actually stopping and picking up the kids and getting them here. So that means your morning really started at what? What time was you getting up?
3:45.
Sheesh.
So that I could be on the road by 4:30. I could make one trip, pick up 2-3 kids, and head on in.
That's dedication. That's dedication. See, I'm pretty sure some people may look at your success and think that, oh, she's just a coach. But they don't know the dedication that go behind that. Like, that you knew some of the kids couldn't get here, and you took it upon yourself to go and pick them up.
Yeah, I mean, I figured like if I was going to introduce them to something, that's the least I could do. Like I'm introducing this new culture and and even though the parents are on board, they don't know what it looks like either. Some parents work the overnight shift; they're not even off yet. So, yeah.
Right.
It was my way of making sure all my girls were here for school too. It was a method to my madness.
Okay.
I knew if they were here at 6 a.m.
Because without the education, they can't play, right?
You're a student athlete. So I knew if they were here at 6 a.m., they was at school on time. So I had to worry about, it's method.
Yeah, got you.
So I knew at least 3 of the girls, but they were coming.
Right.
They were here all day.
Man, that's big.
So I didn't have to worry about attendance.
Right.
Didn't have to worry about worrying if anybody was going to be at practice in the afternoon. Because I knew they were, because we were here at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, that's very big. That shows a lot about your character. So outside of practice, what do you think is the key thing? Like, you're here, you're working out, but what do you think is the key thing to keep these women motivated? What is the one core element of keeping these women motivated?
For them to feel like family. So team bonding was a big deal for me.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to hang out with your teammates in school all day or on the basketball team, where you're really putting on the front, right? You're not able to really just be yourself.
Right.
So team bonding was very important for me. Like, I need you guys to like each other off the court too. Because they're not at the age where they can switch it on and play a basketball game and be like, oh yeah, girl, boom. And then when the game is over,
Right. I don't like
keep it moving.
Right. Yeah.
So it was important that they loved and liked each other off the court too. And I felt like 6 a.m. workouts and the things that we were doing kind of bonded them in a different way because they had things that they could bond and talk over.
Right.
Oh, that workout was,
Right.
But it was only what they could talk about. You know, no one was here except for track. No one else was here at 6 a.m. So it just naturally created, I think, a bonding kind of experience for them to where they had their own thing to talk about.
Right.
So, yeah, family, I think for girls, feeling like they have family is important. I know for me, I want to make sure that where I'm at, like, I feel loved and supported.
Exactly.
And, you know, I have somebody I can talk to, or I have those 2-3 people that I can always just, that's important, especially for young girls. Young women, I mean, all kids are, but we're so emotional and social. Like, that plays a huge part in, you know, our development and how we look at things. So.
Was some of the girls, were they playing the previous year, or did you get a lot of new girls?
I had the whole team.
So so you're coming into a team that was already together, and then you're walking in as this new coach, and they're like, who is she think?
Who is she?
Wow.
Yeah, the very first day I walked in, I was like, hi, how you doing? You know, to one of the players, and I was like, you gonna introduce yourself? No. Yeah. But to this day, you're not gonna say hi to me? So, you know, look how the tables turn, you know, so.
So it's basically you had to gain their respect, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't force it.
Right.
I met them halfway. And I hope I have their respect. You know, I hope that they know, you know, that's Coach Bree.
That's Coach Bree.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what you're gonna get every time. Great morning.
Right.
How you? I have my players saying it now.
No, good energy.
You know, so they know what they're gonna get. They know what they're gonna get every single day. It's no surprise. So.
Well, you know, this has definitely been exciting to interview you. I know a lot of people probably already said congratulations, but I want to give you your flowers. Just the interview itself and just listening to some of the things that you went above and beyond tells a lot about you, shows a lot of dedication to not the school, but to the actual girls, right? And I think that's why you have success. I didn't know about 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if I could.
Yeah.
Rain, cold. Yeah.
We were outside.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. As we wrap up this, another 2-on-2 with Coach Bree. I wish you another successful season.
Thank you.
Right? Championship. And then we're gonna state.
We gotta get the state.
We're going to state, right?
Yeah, we're going to state. So I'm just already gonna put that out there. We're going. We're there.
Okay.
We're there.
So if I wanted to pull up to some of the games, can I get on the floor?
Absolutely. You can sit on the bench. You want to sit on the bench?
I want to sit on the bench.
All right. You go.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Stay tuned.